Hi, my name is John Luz. This is my wife, Peggy. We are from Tulula, Illinois. We have lived in Panama since August of 2018. Our story is a little bit different as far as how we arrived in Panama, in that we had sold our business, we had sold our farm, we had sold all of our livestock, and as of the end of August last year, we were going to be homeless. We came on the tour not so much to just take a tour, but we had made a decision after a lot of deliberation as to where we were going to move, and we just need to verify that it was the right place for us. We have been to most of the islands in the Caribbean. We'd been to Mexico. We had never been to Central America, but we did like the environment of the islands, but didn't feel that the islands were a safe place to be based on hurricanes and other weather conditions. So coming on the tour gave us a very quick and easy way of understanding what Panama was about and that it was the right place for us, and more importantly, once we got to Panama, where we were going to live. Our next project was to find a house that would accommodate us and our 4 pets, and at the same time allow our pets to have a place that they would be comfortable. We were fortunate that we were able to find a house that met those conditions in Volcan. So a couple of days after the tour ended, we drove to Volcan and toured the house. It met all of our concerns and conditions, and so we rented it on a 90-day basis. After we got done touring Volcan for a little bit that day, we started driving back and took the shortcut road from Volcan to Boquete, which is where we were staying. And as we were driving along, we kind of were discussing where in Panama would be the right place for us, because we'd been to the beaches, we'd been to Boquete, we'd been to Volcan. We noticed in Panama, if you don't like where you're living because of whatever weather conditions exist, drive 20 miles and you're going to be into a different, completely new style of microenvironment that you can live in. What we were looking for, we wanted to be in a more rural environment. We didn't want quite as much wind, and we wanted just a little bit warmer temperature than what was offered. So as we drove along, the road that we were on loops through Dolega and communities just a little bit west of Dolega that we've commented were nice places as far as being comfortable to us. So we got back to Boquete. We spent the night. Our flight was supposed to take off on the following Monday. And as I was drinking morning coffee, I looked through some papers that were there. And there happened to be an advertisement for this house that looked very interesting. So called the realtor, explained that we had to be to the airport by 6 o'clock that night. But we really would like to see the house. She offered to come and pick us up, take us look at the house, drop us at the airport. Sounds like a great plan to me. So she came, she picked us up. We drove to Dolega, drove through Dolega out to here, and got out of the car. Peggy walked into the kitchen, said, "I want to buy this house." And we looked the rest of the house over. We looked at the fact that there's over 60 fruit trees that exist here, and at that point in time there were tons of oranges that were being gathered off of about half a dozen of the trees. And being from rural America, that kind of struck a fancy with us. So we went on to the airport and got home, started making some deliberations with the owners of the property as far as a negotiated price for it, and got the price down based on, candidly, on a suggestion from Jackie that we really needed to negotiate. We got the price down to $120,000, which means we have no taxes for the rest of the time that we live in this house.
One thing that a person might want to know is the realtor's role here in Panama is a little bit different than what you're used to in the United States. The realtor's role is to introduce you to the seller. They're not going to be terribly involved in the negotiation of the price or inspections. That is up to you as the buyer. So you need to do your due diligence. The realtor will do the legal work, the paperwork, they'll do the introductions, but I was quite honestly shocked when we got here and the owners were the ones that kind of took over the whole showing of the house and promoting of the house. My job was to figure out what we were going to bring and how we were going to get it here. It took me several times of resorting my piles and eliminating things, and came down to the conclusion that I just needed to bring one thing from each person that was important to me, things that would generate a memory, because you can get everything here. I have had no problems finding things. Sometimes you got to make 2 or 3 stops, buy what you can find when you can find it, because it might not be there the next time. That was a change for me. I was used to shopping on the way to or from the office. I had 1 hour and that was it. I got all the time in the world now to shop. I can look everywhere. The thing I like most about Panama is the people, the neighborhood. We know all of our neighbors. They are very good resource information, good for resource information. They can tell us where to get a truckload of dirt or where to buy a good coffee pot. And I think the kids are amazing. I really enjoy the children. When our oranges were waiting to be picked, we had kids lined up asking if they could have an orange. It just amazed me because my kids wanted chocolate bars. They were excited about getting an orange. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. They were fun.
We have a gate and we have a fence. It's used to keep animals out and animals in. We rarely secure one of the gates. It's generally unlocked for neighbors to come and go, because we do have neighbors that come and go. We have one gentleman that visits us every morning for coffee, and we would miss him if Javier didn't come for coffee.
That's true.
We have a neighbor on the other side of us who comes over periodically, talks to us about what's going on in the neighborhood, and we share fruit with him. I speak Spanish, not well. It's been 50 years since I studied Spanish. I'm disappointed it's not coming back more readily. So I can get through a situation between what I remember and what I can Google. Google translates great. Now, John.
My French from high school has not assisted me one little bit since we got to Panama. But at the same time, I don't really feel that I need to push myself as far as learning Spanish, because as long as you smile, you're patient, and you can use whatever is available as far as signals or pictures or whatever, it's not that difficult to communicate and get your point across and find what you're looking for, which is normally why you need to speak Spanish to begin with. But Javier, that comes for his coffee in the morning, speaks no English. He has made it his objective to teach me Spanish, which means that he speaks to me very slowly and very loudly every time he's trying to teach me a new word.
There is nothing that I have not found in Panama that I miss. There are a lot of things I don't have that I used to have, but I've chosen not to have them. Our home is not an American style home. Consequently, I don't have a dishwasher. I don't miss the dishwasher. We have found all the foods that we have looked for. Clothes. I don't miss anything. I've been able to find everything I've wanted. Is that?
That's true. It's kind of an interesting point to me that we have a riding lawnmower. Panamanians do not use riding lawnmowers. So if I need an oil filter or if I need a new set of blades for my lawnmower, I have to order over the internet in order to find them, because they don't have spare parts here, because the only people that need them are not Panamanian, and Panamanians have a priority. It's not a problem, but it is an interesting point of consideration living here.
We can buy a riding lawnmower, but spare blades are really hard to find.
The cost of living here was a significant factor for us as we were considering places to live, and Panama's cost of living is a substantial reduction for us. We probably, with all of the utilities and internet service, water, electric, total is somewhere probably $170 plus or minus 20.
If you are considering moving to Panama, I would offer two pieces of advice. Number one, take Jackie's tour and listen to everything she's got, and go back and reread that book she passes out. It's a magnificent little manual that provides you everything you ever wanted to know. The second thing, after you've taken Jackie's tour, maintain the relationships with those people that were on the tour with you, and watch the forum that she has online. The people that have, you won't be the first person to have made this journey. I don't believe in recreating the wheel. Jackie's done all the investigation for you. She's provided a lot of research, and there are a lot of us that preceded you in coming to Panama that are ready and willing and able to offer our assistance too. So maintain those relationships.